I've got to get my numbers and names straight. The USS Hornet, in 467 feet, they did a lot of practice, those 16 air crews led by Jimmy Doolittle, and they traveled low over the ocean and popped up right over the ground at Japan and bombed strategic military targets in Tokyo, Osaka, Nagoya, Kobe, and Yokohama. They did it with almost complete surprise. But they had to launch early because they feared they were detected by a Japanese boat, and so they thought they wouldn't have enough gas to get to where they needed to go to their safe bases in China and then come home. As it turned out, after the raid, with not enough gas to get to those bases, some of the air crews ditched in the sea, some flew into worsening weather and bailed out when the engines quit. Several of the air crew were lost. A couple of airplanes landed in Russia, where the air crew were held to the end of the war. Several crew members were captured by the Japanese and executed as war criminals. And all 16 aircraft were lost. And Jimmy Doolittle thought he would be court-martialed, but instead he was promoted to brigadier general and presented with the Medal of Honor. Here come the Mitchells. And it wasn't for peanut butter and jelly. It was for P for patrol, B for bomber, and J for the manufacturer of the airplane. Like here at the Yankee Air Museum, doing actual rides for these airplanes. With each of the aircraft just carried 4 bombs. They didn't do a lot of damage on the ground, but the feeling of Japanese invincibility, having not been attacked on their own soil in those 2,000 years, was shattered. It made them keep men and materiel back at home for homeland defense because Japan wanted to take over the world, and they were doing a great job of it. Well, you see pictures of that.
He had the shortest takeoff, and when it comes off the bow of that ship, to see it dip down toward the water and catch that air to take off was an incredible sight to see. You can see it on pictures and films today.
Yeah, what happened on that one, there was an interesting situation that happened, and I'm going to wait till this passes by. What happened with that one particular video, there is film of these airplanes taking off. Doolittle got off fine. Everybody else was doing fine. One airplane, when they ran these airplanes up, was sitting behind another airplane that ran its engines up. The second airplane in line had its flaps down, and it started to get pushed back because the deck was slippery. So the guy retracted his flaps so he wouldn't be pushed back into another airplane behind him. Well, when they took off, they forgot to extend the flaps, and they didn't have enough lift from the flaps on the wings for that short. As these aircraft brake, the first one brakes, they wait about 3 or 4 seconds, maybe a little longer with these airplanes, and then the next one brakes. It gets them in a position where they are first close together. It then allows them to separate and give them ample time and room for landing, one right after the other. So from close formation, they spread out.
This is the normal military approach. They need to fly over the airport, and they come in, and then this kind of approach.
And they do the brake, and we'll see that demonstrated actually by the Growler here.